secular American Jews get it completely ass backwards when it comes to anti-Semitism. All right. Generally, secular American Jews don't really have a great track record to getting anything right in the past 70 years. They have a uniquely American way of dealing with anti-Semitism, which is kind of the dumbest way to go about it, and it's completely the opposite of what you're supposed to do. Generally speaking, you have a product, so you get together, you get a funding together, you create a product, and you see, and people buy your product, and you make money, or you make a difference in the world, etc., etc. Same thing is for political things, to get things done, civil rights, etc., etc. So they do the same thing with anti-Semitism, except they get they make an organization, big organization. They raise $300 million a year or $30 million a year. All these old Jews in Miami, never been to synagogue in their life, they feel bad, so they send a check to the anti-Semitic organization that's fighting anti-Semitism. What kind of stupid moron do you have to be to fight anti-Semitism? Okay, you fight a phone bill. AT&T charges you $60 instead of $40. You call them up and you fight the bill and you win. Anti-Semitism. Nobody ever fought anti-Semitism and won. No one ever said, ooh, last year we fought anti-Semitism and it went down. That never happened. Not last year, not in the history of the world, not in the history of anti-Semitism, not in the history of Jews. Never did it happen that you fought it and you won. So the whole thing, the idea of fighting it is stupid in itself. And American Jews, secular American Jews, get it completely backwards. Because what they're raising money for is not to have stronger Jewish organizations, not to have more Jewish education, not to have more Jewish pride, even though the guy finally said, I want you to raise the Jewish pride 10%. And he got that approved by the board, and he said, waste of time. They don't. It's not Jewish pride. It's not Jewish education. It's not anything to strengthen Judaism. It's not that. It's to spread awareness about anti-Semitism. What kind of putz moron do you have to be? That you ever see a guy that comes? You ever see like a documentary? You know, these like weird documentaries you watch on YouTube at 2:00 in the morning if you can't sleep. So you see, we used to be anti-Semitic, and me and my wife, we were both very anti-Semitic until we read the brochure from the ADL. And then we realized that anti-Semitism is wrong. Okay, you never see that happen because it doesn't happen. Now, the Lubavitch Rebbe had a very interesting way of dealing with anti-Semitism. He said, deal with it in a diplomatic way. Don't call it out. Don't call it out. Deal with it in a diplomatic way. Focus on Jewish pride. The only way to get by the next era right now is sobriety. Work on your mind, sobriety, work on other things. A lot of people say move to Israel. That's definitely in the cards. It's definitely a thing to do. Definitely have a place there to move to, etc., etc. Although when it comes down to it, having a place there is not the same as living there. Whatever. We don't know what the future is going to bring. But you have to get strengthened now for the future. And to spend $32 million a year, what do? You have a Zoom call. Joni, we can't see you. We can hear you. Marcus, we could see you, but we can't hear you. Okay, it's about anti-Semitism. What about anti-Semitism? That we'll discuss next week. This week we wanted to know who we could... So you waste the time, okay? It's worse than going to... Anyway. You're not fighting it, you're not winning it. Stop raising funds for it. Strengthen yourself as a Jew. You strengthen yourself. You add light, you strengthen yourself. Stop hanging out with these lefty anti-Semites. Stop even getting angry at anti-Semites. Be confident about being Jewish. So he said... Like my mother says, I think gezucht. So he said. So, but if you're scared, I don't know what to say. If you're scared, I don't know the answer to that because I don't really have fear. I'm not scared of anti-Semitism. What upsets me is self-hating Jews. Real anti-Semites? Interesting. I never knew, because it used to be that you would talk about it, the Shabbos table, you would talk about anti-Semitism. You would hear about anti-Semitism. I hate to say this, but Jews have enjoyed anti-Semitism for 70 years. They enjoyed it. Because as long as you're not being threatened, as long as there's not really a problem, it's nice to talk about. People hate you. It's kind of like an ego thing. And then, but once it becomes a problem, then it's an issue. So now that it became a problem, I forgot the point that I'm trying to make. I don't remember. Anyway, to deal with anti-Semitism is to deal and to become stronger with who you are, because the more confident about who you are. Oh, it used to be that anti-Semites were impossible to find. Once in a while you'd see something online, once in a while you would hear a story. But now they're all over the place, straight up, all over the place. And done by the biggest hypocrites, because carried by the biggest hypocrites, because a Muslim, I understand, etc., etc. I said that in the other video. But, held by people that are supposedly progressive, supposedly people that care about other people, supposedly people that care about women's rights, etc., etc. So the anti-Semitism today is carried by, it's the most insidious kind because they're trying to wrap it up in this idea of doing the right thing. But then again, every terrorist group believes in self-preservation. The Nazis also were saying, I mean, they're the biggest example of anti-Semitism, but they were also saying they were trying to protect the race. Usually hatred against other people is protecting themselves. Another thing that's interesting about anti-Semitism these days is that the Germans really spoiled us. Okay, the Germans really spoiled us. Germans were tall, good-looking. At least that's the story we saw. Well, they're well-spoken, well-thought. They knew about Judaism. They had statistics in front of them. Today, what do you have? A bunch of Achmanis cases, yelling. They'll look unemployed. They'll look to krachen. They'll look to hug at the people over there standing. Then you go over to them. What's the problem? Israel's bad. Show me Israel on the map. That I can't help you. I'm sorry. All I know is Israel's bad. What's Israel? I don't know. Anyway, they're attacking Gaza. Where's Gaza? Anyway, so today anti-Semites are kind of stupid. Even the other anti-Semites are closer to home. I mean, what do you got to contend with these days? Mendy Potemkin, okay, Mohammed Hadif, not Mohammed Hadif, Mohammed something in England, a big fat guy that they don't want to that makes all these disgusting jokes and stuff like that. Who do you have today? Bernie Sanders? What anti-Semites do you have today? Yes, I count non-Jewish and Jewish anti-Semites as the same. Jewish anti-Semites just piss me off a lot more. But what do you got to contend with these days? Leftists are not that active. People on the left are not that active. They're not going to do anything that much. So the big fear about anti-Semitism shouldn't really be there. It's not like a leftist likes getting into power if they have control. But this thing about actually doing bad things to Jewish people, you're dealing with a bunch of Rahmanis cases. If the right starts getting anti-Semitic, then it's a problem. The left is not doing anything. They'll make a lot of noise and yell that, so you don't really have to worry about. That's one theory that I heard. We'll see what happens. Yeah.